Hi, first grade. I hope everybody is doing well today. It's Mrs. Norris here, and I wanted to take a little deep dive with you into our next topic. So, let me ask you a question, and I want you to think about this at home. Think about, what do these words have in common? I'm going to give you a list of some words, and I want you to see if you can figure out what they have in common. Desk, boy, park, bike, chair, cat, nurse, school, store, computer. Did you notice anything with those words? I'll give you a second to think. That's right, nouns. If you said that those were all nouns, you would be right. You probably remember Miss Taylor talking to you yesterday about what are called common nouns. And if we remember, nouns are people, places, things, right? People, places, things. Today, we're going to take a look at what are called proper nouns. Proper nouns. So let me give you an example of a common noun and a proper noun and see if you can think in your head what the difference is. So a common noun might be something like store, right? That's a place, store. That's a common noun. A proper noun would be target, target. What do you think is the difference between common and proper nouns? They're all still people, place, or thing, but if you said a common noun just names a store, it could be any store. And a proper noun names a specific store or a specific noun. In this case, we said store was the common noun and target, which is the specific name of a real store, that is the proper noun. So let's take a look at some characters in our story, Tomas and the Library Lady. Right? We spent some time last week talking about characters. On the list, we see Tomas, Mama, Papa, the Library Lady, Enrique, Papa Grande. Do you notice anything about all of these names, all of these words? And I may have just given it away there. They're all names and they're all nouns. They're all people, right? And we're going to notice something else about them as well. They're all proper nouns, right? Tomas, that's his name. It's a proper noun. So you might say, well, how can we figure out what's a proper noun? What is a common noun? So here's a little helpful guidelines. Proper nouns name the specific people, specific places, and specific things. So, you could say teacher would be a common noun and Miss Taylor would be the proper noun, or Mrs. Norris would be the proper noun. Somewhere like a place, you could say school, that would be a common noun, but a proper noun would be Avonworth Primary Center. That's the specific name. When we're talking about something like things, you might say something like a toy, but if you said Legos, Legos is the specific name. And one way to always tell that a noun is a proper noun is that it begins with a capital letter. Just like when you write your name, you write your name with a capital letter, your first and last name, and your middle name. You write it with a capital letter. Target starts with a capital letter. So proper nouns always begin with capital letters. So that's good for us to know as writers, so that if we're ever writing a proper noun, we know that we need to write it with a capital letter. But it can also help us for readers looking for proper nouns because we know they'll start with a capital letter. Okay, so we are going to go for a little proper noun safari in our story, Tomas and the Library Lady. So remember, we're looking for people, places, things that name a specific person, place, or thing, and they start with a capital letter. So let's just flip through the book and see what we come up with. So, of course, we see here Tomas And we mentioned that a little bit earlier, that Tomas, that's his specific name. That would be a proper noun. I also see another proper noun in this portion of the text. I'll give you a second and see if you can find it. Did you notice the word Texas? Texas is the name of a state, and it's the specific name of a state. So Texas would also be a proper noun. All right, let's keep looking. Okay, we still see Enrique. Oh, and actually, I just look back. If we look at this first page here, I notice another proper noun. I'll give you a second. If you look in that first sentence, Tomas was on his way to Iowa again with his family. If you thought Iowa was a proper noun, you would be correct. That's another specific name of a state, just like Texas. So Iowa. Okay, we see Tomas, and now we see his family, Mama, Papa, Enrique. When he's addressing Mama and Papa, that's what he calls them. That's their name to him. We can write that and consider that a proper noun. Okay, and we also see Papa Grande. That's what he calls Papa Grande. We could say grandfather would be the common noun, or grandpa would be the common noun, but Papa Grande is the specific name that Tomas calls his grandfather. So that's another proper noun. Okay, so it just says library. I don't see the name. It doesn't give a specific name of the library. Okay, but library would be a common noun. That's a place. All right, let's see. And we really don't learn the library lady's name. He calls her library lady. So he keeps saying the lady at the library. So I don't know her actual name. All right, so he's imagining he's going back, and we see he's with his family. So thinking about the characters and the settings, some of those are proper nouns. Okay, flipping through, we're kind of seeing the same characters, the same people, and I think we've done a good job finding the proper nouns. All right, so now we have gone through the story and identified some of the proper nouns. So I just wanted to bring you back quickly to this chart, which you probably remember from our last noun lesson, where you talked about with Miss Taylor the different people, places, and things that were in the story. Now, you probably also remember working on this nouns chart that you sent in yesterday. And we are going to add to it because if you remember, Miss Taylor said the proper nouns column, just not to worry about that for right now. So now is the time where we're going to come back and be able to complete this page and complete the proper noun section. So I'm going to put in a text box and let's think about together what some of the proper nouns were from the story. So I know one right away was Tomas. And then I think about some of the other characters. Papa Grande was another proper noun character in the story. When I think about the setting, I also think about Texas and Iowa. Those were two specific names of places. There was also his brother Enrique and Mama and Papa. And then if you just say, the mom was there or the dad went to the party, but it's because this is what he specifically calls his grown-ups, that's their specific name from him. We can consider that a proper noun and use a capital letter. Okay, so what we'd like you to do now is find your blue Wit and Wisdom workbook that you just used yesterday and go back to the page 3B where you have your proper and common nouns and add on to the proper noun column. So I'll leave this slide here, and If you would like to, I'll make it a little bit bigger. So if you would like to pause the video so that you can add some of the proper nouns to your chart as well. And just remember the difference between a proper noun and a common noun. A common noun just names any person, place, or thing, while a proper noun names a specific person, place, or thing. And it always starts with a capital letter. Very good. Excellent. So keep your eyes out for more nouns around you. And whenever you're finished filling in this chart, you can take a picture of it and submit it through Seesaw. And keep up the great work. Thanks.